work the system. There's a recipe that works.
Absolutely.
Use it.
If you go to gym and you just pop into the smoothie bar, you're going to end up with a body like mine and not get the results that the personal trainer sold you on. And that's exactly the same in BNI.
True. Welcome back to another session of Behind the Scenes with EDs. Today we are talking to Ross, who is from KZN, quite a difficult region and a quite different region. Ross, please tell us a bit more about yourself.
So I've been in BNI now 20 years, and I had the privilege of buying the region of KZN 8 years ago, and we had quite an interesting journey. It was COVID like everybody had, then we had the looting, the floods, and it created some issues, but we've bounced back. There's a term that we use in KZN called Kwa-Zillient, and if you're still in business now, then that's probably where you fit in.
Awesome. Well, you just said it, that you were a member for quite some time before you became an ED.
Yes.
What made you take that step?
So the irony is that I tried to buy it 17 years ago, and I'd been a member for only 2 or 3 years, but there were two buyers, and the other person offered more money, so I didn't get to buy it. And then when they stepped out, they offered it to me, and I jumped in with both feet, because BNI's always really been a massive success for me in various businesses, and I wanted to take that to the next level to grow KZN. The economy of KZN, the businesses in KZN really need a helping hand now more than ever, and this is going to be that step for them.
KZN is quite a long region, but you've got quite some coastal areas and inland areas. How does the two differ?
Very different. So even within the coastal areas, the south coast is very different to the north coast. North coast is very community orientated. The business owners take the community very seriously. On the south coast, it's far more relaxed, and most of the business owners are imports from Joburg, Cape Town, the Free State. So they're very different there. We've got very Afrikaans and as well as very English communities in KZN. So that also creates a bit of a difference. But yeah, so there's a lot of different sort of communities. So you've got to work out what people are looking for, what their businesses need. But the net result is that all businesses need the same thing, and that's to grow if you want to make a difference.
We spoke a bit about the floods and the riots and the COVID, everything that hit just like that. During the floods and the riots, how did the members come together to support and help, not just their members, but the community as well?
So we had a lot of that. We saw a lot of little businesses popping up. We saw a lot of little farm stalls popping up, because there just wasn't places to buy fresh bread, fresh vegetables. I know, like in my area, we had 25 substations that were washed away. And now, 4 years later, there are 13 substations that aren't there yet. So we're all daisy chained. So we have a lot more load shedding than we should. But the problem we had is because we had the two floods within 6 weeks of each other, and both of them were the worst flood in 100 years, anything that the municipality had done over those 6 weeks got washed away. And they had to restart, and they'd spent millions and millions on trying to recuperate already, and then that money was also, we sent it offshore. So it was terrible, and everybody got together. So BNI members helping BNI members helping communities. We had a travel agent who started making pies because they couldn't travel. It was really incredible. Yeah, it was. Then the communities are very strong now, and it's wonderful to see. And I know that if we have that again, we won't have the same sort of problems. We've learned from it, and we've come back a lot stronger.
You're very focused on return on investment with your members. You've got this whole thing going within your region. But what I want to know, how has that influenced not just new members, but your more experienced members through this whole process? Are they adapting to that now and trying to get the members to that point?
So absolutely, I think in business, return on investment is massive. There are always ways to market business. There are always ways to advertise, but you've got to be able to test and measure to see what works. And for me, return on investment is one way to measure, is this marketing plan working? It is something I focus a lot on. Our average member's return on investment is 3,200% per annum. And I think as a marketing plan, that's really, really amazing. That's for our average member, but remember, the new members aren't going to make that because they still got to build those relationships. So we offer a guarantee in KZN where if you don't make 10 times your membership back in your first year, you get the second year for free.
So that's 100 grand.
111,000 rand in your first year. T's and C's apply. You have to do the full power of one.
Obviously. Work the system. There's a recipe that works.
Absolutely.
Use it.
If you go to gym and you just pop into the smoothie bar, you're going to end up with a body like mine and not get the results that the personal trainer sold you on. And that's exactly the same in BNI.
True. Traditions and innovations is one of our core values.
So
we love, but we also hate at the same time.
So it's interesting you asked that. So I had to ask which one it was. And for me, it's building relationships. Building relationships is the core for me of BNI. It's what gives it its power. It's what gives it its leverage over your business, because those relationships are what's going to pay you back over and over again. When people leave, those relationships are still there. I often refer to those relationships as social capital. Now, if you're starting out in a business and you don't have financial capital, if you have social capital, it doesn't matter because you'll find an investor because you know the right people to talk to. So for me, that's social capital for new businesses and experienced businesses. It is absolutely key to business, and it comes down to those relationships and how well you maintain those relationships. In the 50s and 60s, people used to say, it was all about going to school, getting a good education, going to varsity, getting a good job. Then in the 70s and 80s, that changed into it's not what you know, it's who you know. Then the internet came about, and now we all know everybody. So then it became not about who you knew, but who knows you. And now it's not even that, because we're all connected through Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all of these platforms. And now it's about how well do you know somebody. Are those 2,000-3,000 people in your phone? Can you lift up the phone, speak to them and say, I'm looking for this, can you help me? Because if you don't, then you don't have a quality relationship with that person. And for me, that's what it's about. It's about how well do we know each other. Often I talk to people and say, BNI can really help you get known. I say, but we're very well known. But you're only very well known to those who know you very well. If they don't know you, they don't know you. And that's what this is about. It's about getting your name spoken about in rooms you don't have access to. And that can always come and help you.
You're currently busy with quite a bit of core groups. We spoke about it, and you're drained after a week.
I am, yes.
How does that, what you just spoke about the relationship building and the social capitalism, how does that influence the way you're running your core groups?
So for me, it's all about relationships. And a relationship is a two-way thing. So anybody who is interested in growing their business, whether they join BNI now or not, is really not the end of the world to me. There is a season for everything in life. But I make it my mission to know every single BNI member by name and profession. And even the core group members, because that's where those relationships come into play. So somebody might be in a position where they're not ready to join BNI right now. There might be a divorce, a death in the family, just life's busy, they don't have a business, whatever it might be. But I want them to know me well enough that they can lift up the phone in 6 months' time and say, Ross, now's the time we're ready. And for me, that's a bigger picture. It's about knowing that I have access to hundreds, if not thousands, of the best services that are available in this country and globally even. And if they phone me, I'll be able to put them in touch with the right person. And that's the relationship. So my relationships with BNI members around the country, BNI members in other countries, I'm willing to use those relationships, leverage those relationships to help BNI members in my region.
You attend quite a bit of trainings and do a lot of training, and you're on the training team, which we have monthly. What are some of the golden nuggets that still stick with you for years?
Sure, there's so many, and I use them all the time. I'm a massive fan of everything that Phil Berg does. His trainings are phenomenal, but for me, it's about being honest, having integrity, and just being willing to share what you know and who you know with somebody else for the greater good. And that really, for me, is how I like to live my life, and how I want other people to live theirs. You've heard of that movie, Pay It Forward. Now, to me, that really is the simplification of Givers Gain, and that's what we're here to do, building communities of business owners to uplift that very same community. One of the things that really sticks in my head is, I can't remember his name now, but the previous executive director of BNI UK, and he talks about the velocity of money, where for every rand you earn that you spend in your local community, 68% of it stays in that community, and then they do the same thing. So for every rand you earn, your community is uplifted by a factor of 5, so 5 rand. Now, we are on a mission 1000 to get to 1000 BNI members in KZN, and if we do that, we should be doing about 600 million rands worth of thank you for closed business between our members. And if you multiply that by 5, we're going to be looking at 3 billion rand worth of upliftment of honest, ethical business in the KZN economy. And that really is my drive for the next 5 years.
KZN is made up of very different townships.
Yes.
Developed cities, all intertwined. There's no different. It's not like what we are used to. Oh, you are seeing now you're getting into a rural area. There it's kind of just mixed all over.
Yeah, it is.
Does that influence your chapter cultures?
So absolutely, I think it actually makes it stronger, because we have a very diverse people in each chapter. You've got right from the smallest solopreneur right to middle-sized businesses, and everything in between. And it really does epitomize what BNI means, because it's about having that voice in a community you don't have access to. I'm a middle-class white guy. I can't walk into a township and have my name spoken about. But if I've got members in my chapter, business owners in my chapter that live in those areas, I can have my name spoken about in those communities. And there's a lot of spending power in those communities. We must be very careful to be judgmental about, this is a rich area, poor area, whatever it is. There is business in all of those spaces, and all of those businesses need a voice. All of those businesses need more referrals. All of them need more education, more growth, because that's what's going to change the economy whole scale. You can't affect the economy by only focusing on the wealthy elite. And by the same token, you can't only focus on the burgeoning brand new business owners from a previously disadvantaged community. We've got to see ourselves as one unit, as business community, and we've got to be there for each other. And I think that adds up, that diversity adds a really, really huge strength in our chapters.
Coming from 20 years ago to what we have in BNI now, what do you wish you had 20 years ago?
The app. BNI Connect and the app.
Those little slippies.
Like when I started 20 years ago, there was only one slip, which was a referral slip. And I remember when we started talking about thank you for closed business, everyone was like, "Wow, I don't want people to know what I'm earning," and it was crazy. Then, I mean, back in my day, I don't know if you've been around long enough, but we didn't have one-to-ones. They were called dance cards.
Yes.
It was so it was all different. And then to go to the next step and the next step, and imagine BNI without Connect. Imagine BNI without Business Builder. It's hard. I mean, the biggest chapter in South Africa in those days was 35. We stopped inviting visitors because we had 35, and the chapter had become unmanageable. And now 35 is just a normal size chapter.
That's kind of where we're all aiming to go to. It's a minimum of 35.
It was crazy times. And we didn't network in other chapters. We didn't network much in other regions because we didn't know each other. It was a surprise to go and find out, hey, there's another chapter that meets down the road. We didn't know. But it was great. But yeah, it is so much better now. I think It's better and it's worse because the technology can take away some of that base building relationships because we rely too much on the technology. Whereas in those days you had to go and find another member, add another chapter, or have that one-to-one with them. Now, WhatsApp has taken a lot of that away. I'm still, for good or for worse, I'm still a big fan of in-person meetings. I think that we connect stronger as human beings. If I can shake your hand or give you a hug, that connection is so much stronger. I think online space is great for maintaining existing relationships, but I personally find it very hard to build relationships in an online space. And I really love the in-person connections. There are places for the online stuff because, especially I'm at KZN, from where I stay in Westville, it's 2 hours north to a chapter, it's 2 hours south to a chapter, or it's 4 hours inland to a chapter. So there are times when the technology does make life easier.
True.
Yeah.
I've seen with some online chapters as well that the thank you for close business is not as high, the referrals aren't as high. People are struggling. What advice would you give a chapter that is maybe hybrid or online? What steps can they take to start rebuilding that in-person connection?
So I think that more in-person connections. So whether it's a social or meeting on a Friday for a bunny, we got 2 chapters that meet every Friday for a bunny chow. We've got another chapter that's just started a Wednesday sushi club. Those are great ways to network and build those relationships if you are in the online space. And then when you travel, I've had the privilege of traveling overseas and visiting chapters in Dubai, in the UK. Those connections are also, it's great to have that connection. You go in there, and BNI is lovely because you're already a trusted partner when you walk in, and you can then take that relationship to the next level. Yeah.
Very much. How many online chapters do you have left?
None.
All in person?
No, we have one hybrid chapter, and I think that they will not be hybrid in the next few months, I suspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. The whole, if you think about the whole country, is actually more of, I want to speak to you, not to a computer.
No, I think, and also the more Afrikaans the chapter is, the more they want to kuier. So the more that you've got that.
What's boortjies?
Yeah, and I think if you look at the country, the more English people. If you go to England, if you can live next door to your neighbor and not identify in a police lineup, you've succeeded. They don't want to know each other. But the Dutch people love to live in communities, and I think that's very apparent in this country. The more Afrikaans the community, the more they want to meet in person. Yeah.
Last thing that you want to leave us with, final thoughts from your side?
So for me, I would say to anybody out there who has a business, who's looking to grow their business, find your closest BNI chapter and go and visit. It will be the next best step for your business that you can take.
Agreed. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And that's it from us for now. Thank you very much for watching. We look forward to seeing you on our next session, so please like and subscribe so you can get the updates. Thank you.